Hi, everybody. Welcome to another show of Freedom Frequency. And let me go live on Instagram too. I'm live on all platforms. So, welcome to the show. And as you're seeing today, I'm going to talk about is the alternative media dead? And I'm going to talk a little bit about Alex Jones too, and about some new figures in the alternative movement and the alternative media. Because, in my opinion, it has become like a wasteland in a way. And there's some very dangerous and very weird developments in the alternative media, in my opinion. But as always, this is a live show, so for any of you viewers who are watching live or in replay, let me know where you're from. I love to know where you guys are watching from. So right now I'm streaming from Arizona still, so I'm 2 hours ahead of EST, behind EST, and 8 hours behind European time. So that's quite a while. So I'm seeing Tamara Tony in the chat. Hi Tamara, how are you doing? So yeah, let's dive straight in. So, when I started going into conspiracy in 2004, when I woke up, as they say, it was a whole different landscape. And the person that woke me up was Alex Jones. And I remember there was no social media back then. This was a totally, back in 2004, this was a totally different world. There was no social media. There was no such thing as YouTube. There was no such thing as Facebook. There was no such thing as smartphones, right? So you only had your computer to go on the internet and to find information. So the way information got shared then, news didn't. There was still the mainstream news. There were alternative websites, but it was harder to like find them. So the way that people found information also, for example, file sharing networks, downloading movies and stuff like that. And I remember I was on file sharing networks, and I saw this movie, 9/11: The Road to Tyranny, and I was like, interesting, because I was interested in politics at the time, and something inside of me, okay, I downloaded it. And then I watched 9/11: The Road to Tyranny, and that just blew it open for me, this was the 9/11: The Road to Tyranny from Alex Jones, and how he said that, the criminal elements within the American government were behind 9/11. I mean, and he talked about not only 9/11, but there was also a great section in that documentary. It's still a great documentary, a great section about the Oklahoma City bombing, how, Timothy McVeigh couldn't have done it alone. There was multiple bombs found. Very convincing, very real investigative journalism. Really good investigative journalism. So, I really fell in love with Alex Jones, not literally, of course, but with his style, with his, his speaking out, his spirit, his warrior spirit, him going against the grain. And I started watching more of Alex Jones, and that woke me up. And then I started getting into David Icke and conspiracy, and that's how it started. But I have to credit Alex Jones. But if I look at Alex Jones now, and what he's turned into, compared to the Alex Jones I knew, the Alex Jones that woke me up in 2004, it's a whole different game. And I want to talk a little bit about it. And this is a trend. The trend that happened to Alex Jones is a trend that I've been seen happening in social media, in the alternative landscape, that I've really found. And I'm seeing also a lot of people on Instagram. So hi everybody on Instagram. You see Macro Moonland just joined. So I'm going to give you clips. I'm going to show you, because I think Alex Jones, I don't know what happened to him, but I don't see that warriors. I don't see that spirit that Alex Jones had, that spoke out against authority, that questioned authority always. There seems to be something missing now, and I'm going to show it to you with clips. And this is not only Alex Jones, but symptomatic for the bigger alternative media landscape. There is the alternative media has become like a new mainstream media. Alex Jones has become like a new mainstream media in a way. I wouldn't call it alternative media. Even these big people on X, that are promoted on X. Now, we can only, in my opinion, I don't know. I think Alex Jones started out with pure intentions, but I don't know exactly what happened to him, because the things he's saying, and I'm going to give you examples of that, and the things he's posting, it just doesn't vibe with me. So let's go on to the first thing. So what really turned me off from Alex Jones, I mean, I still liked Alex every once in a while, but I'm not saying I'm totally turned off. Well, maybe kind of. Is this? So he posted this when the Venezuela regime change happened. Alex Jones posted this on Twitter. So I'm going to make it bigger for you guys. So Alex Jones is basically, sharing this video from Venezuela, showing that, the corporate media is refusing to cover the Venezuelans celebrating around the world. So, and then he shows this video of Venezuelans supposedly celebrating around the world that the Trump administration went into Venezuela and kidnapped the Maduro, their president. Now, this is fake, because this is not a celebration from those days after that he was kidnapped. This is a celebration from the World Cup. This is totally fake. You see how, and Alex Jones still has this tweet online, and there's people in the comments saying to him, see, there's context at it here. This is the Argentina World Cup celebration. Here, I'm going to make it bigger for you guys. Here, this is the Argentina World Cup celebration. So this is fake news he's promoting. I mean, the thing he always said the mainstream media that he's now doing himself. He's now doing it himself, promoting fake news, propaganda, basically, propaganda for the current administration, that the Venezuelans are happy about it. Now, I'm sure some Venezuelans are happy about it. I don't care. Some Venezuelans are probably not happy about it. But, this is propaganda showing it. And it's not true, because it's the Argentinian World Cup celebration. And he still hasn't taken it down. And all the people in the comments are saying, look, you know that the footage is a lie, right? I know that you know that. That makes you a liar, right? So, and all these comments, and still he hasn't taken it down. So Alex Jones is doing, this is unforgivable. This is, I could forgive him being, I could look past him promoting Elon Musk, kissing Elon Musk's butt, kissing Trump's butt. Okay, if that's his opinion, he's right to his opinion. I don't like that, but that's one thing. But this is promoting fake narratives, promoting propaganda, posting false information. Sorry, Alex, that's where I draw the line. You've turned into the new mainstream media, peddling propaganda. It's absolutely ridiculous. Showing these fake celebrations, right? This is propaganda. So whatever happened to Alex Jones, right? And maybe it's the Sandy Hook thing. Maybe, maybe. And I see all this weird stuff in my camera. So if it's live. We've been traveling, and somehow I didn't notice that the setting on the camera is still on. So if you just excuse me and give me 1 second, I'll go behind the camera and I'll turn this off. So just bear with me, guys. I can keep speaking to you. I just gotta fix this here and turn this off in the settings. I know how to do it. So just bear with me. This is a unscripted live. Okay, I hope it's gonna be back to normal now. Let's see. Okay, guys, I'm back. Regina Rose says, lol, I thought you were going for Cyborg. That's a good one. Okay, let me take... Excuse me. Still have a little bit of a cold. Let me take some time to say hi to you guys. So hi, Regina. Hi, Lindsay from New Jersey. Hi, Sharon Brilla. Where are you from, Sharon? Hi, Linda Zikowski. Yes, we are being gaslighted. I mean, it's absolutely insane what has happened. And continuing, because I was a little bit sidetracked by the Terminator look. I think maybe Sandy Hook has something to do with it, because he was basically, they killed him. Basically, they killed his empire. He was billions in debt. But somehow he managed to still, stay afloat with his organization. Maybe it's self-preservation. Maybe, every man. I remember this scene from a movie. It's from Apocalypse Now, and where Marlon Brando says to the other actor, Martin Sheen, says, "Every man has a breaking point." He says, "You and I have one." Maybe Alex Jones reached his breaking point, and maybe Alex Jones gave in. Right? Because what we're seeing him do, peddling false information, and he knows it. People calling him out in the comment, still hasn't taken it down. And I'm going to give you more examples. So it's really it's sad in my opinion, because I felt Alex Jones was really, he woke me up, but now it's bad. So also this, for example, Alex Jones calling. I'm going to show it to you guys. Here, Alex Jones calling for the Insurrection Act, right? Which is basically martial law, which is putting the military on the street. Now, martial law, is I followed Alex Jones, is something Alex Jones always spoke out against heavily. He made movies, martial law, Rise of the Police State, how they're going to implement martial law in America. And he warned against it. And he said both administrations, both Republican and Democrats, are pushing this goal. And now that, now he's calling for martial law. I mean, isn't it sad? He's calling for the Insurrection Act. It's insane. It's insane what happened. And look how he always talks in terms of left versus right. The original Alex Jones used to know that left and right were two wings of the same bird. But somehow he kind of, and now it's called leftist, it's leftist mobs. And, of course, there are leftist mobs. There are also right-wing mobs. I mean, I'm not for the left or the right in any way. He's like, he's peddling the left versus right narrative. That's the oldest trick in the book to control people, the two-party state. Which one are you? And pitting people against each other, left versus right, Republican versus Democrat, black versus white. It goes on and on and on. Alex Jones fell, people can fall. And what I've seen now, Alex Jones fell. How people can rise up and then fall in morals and integrity. And what I'm seeing here is he fell, in my opinion. Regina Rue, says he was sued so hard it broke his brain. Yeah, maybe we can only speculate, right, what happened to Alex Jones, but this is very sad in my opinion. He was a great guy fighting the New World Order. Now he's peddling their narrative, basically. I mean, he's kissing Elon Musk's butt. He's trying to walk this. I feel like he was trying to walk this line, maybe to keep himself afloat, but now he's crossing the line to a point where it's peddling propaganda, which is not good, and we have to call him out on that. This is not real or this is the new mainstream media. Let me give another. There's this other guy that Alex Jones had on. Is Nick Fuentes. Like, this is another guy that is new in the alternative media space, and he's been known to say, like, some crazy things. And he's also an agitator, a peddler of, sometimes he goes against the official narrative, then he totally supports it. It's like it's a very weird character, this Nick Fuentes. And let me play a clip here of Nick Fuentes where he says, like, 2 days ago, Epstein is cool. And this guy is the new alternative media, right? He has millions of followers. His show has millions of views. He's like becoming a new Alex Jones a little bit. Let me play that clip here. It's just crazy. He says Epstein is cool.
Times you gotta be the villain. Epstein's my boy, dude. Let's just be honest. Epstein was cool as fuck. There, I said it. What are you gonna do? Go ahead, cancel me. Yeah, I said it. Jeffrey Epstein was cool as fuck. Now what? Go ahead, cancel me. Do it. So sometimes we have to be the villain. Sometimes we have to be on a villain arc. That's okay. I'll be a little unpopular. I've been unpopular before. I like it better.
See? So this is what the new quote-unquote alternative media has become. This guy is speaking out about, and this guy, together with Alex Jones, was calling for the Insurrection Act. So this Nick Fuentes guy who says Epstein is cool, supposedly the new alternative media, like the likes of Alex Jones, is saying Epstein is cool, is saying, the USA has to take Greenland by military force, and we have to have, the military in the streets. What is going on? And this guy has 1 million followers. What I know, again, is that a lot of people are, if you like this guy, you're brain dead. I mean, he's saying Epstein is cool. And he does it for the views, of course, saying shocking things, probably like Alex Jones used to do, but there's a point where you lose your integrity. This guy has no integrity. If you say Epstein is cool, Epstein was a rapist. He raped girls, Should have been your daughter, right? It's insane. And let me show you here another thing of another clip of Nick Fuentes where he says, about Greenland, peddling the official narrative. I mean, this
with
is what it
fresh
has become.
water, uranium, critical minerals. You're right next to the United States, and you got 50,000 people that cannot defend the
Well, you're not right next to the United States because Canada is in between, but anyway.
island. Do you think China is going to let that stand in the way of a platform to attack the United States? Of course not. If they could, they would take it in a heartbeat. They can, they have the capability. It's just that right now it might not be strategically viable because it's controlled by a NATO country. Maybe they don't want to challenge the United States. But of course, it is a matter of national security for China or Russia to have it. And it wouldn't take them a second to think about whether they would devour that territory. But we have to be the stupid people and think about national sovereignty and, well, it's technically Denmark's, and, well, Denmark is going to let us. Denmark is going to let us. Try and fucking stop us. I love that. Well, Denmark lets us put our military there. Denmark lets us use Greenland for our military? I would like to see Denmark try and stop us. As a matter of fact, I would like to see all of Europe try to stop us. They let us use Greenland. They let us do whatever we want. Try and stop us from doing whatever we want.
So see, this is what the new alternative media has turned into, basically, as I would almost call it fascism. I would almost call it fascism. This aggressive tone, this imperialist tone, right? I'm not going into this discussion about Greenland, because Greenland hasn't been an issue for. I know the United States may have shown interest in Greenland, even in the Cold War. Even during the Cold War, the United States didn't have Greenland, and it wasn't a problem. So now there's no Cold War anymore, and now suddenly he's peddling the narrative. We have to invade Greenland by force, and we don't have to give a shit what other people think. It's imperialism. It's fascism, right? Okay, if you want Greenland, then try to get it. Instead of, this is the new mainstream media. It's kind of scary in a way, because if people go along with this is how Hitler came to power. Force, this and that. People don't see it fascism, but I recognize fascism when I see it. Like the first signs of fascism, right? So it's this guy. I mean, he could stand on a stage and it's crazy. Anyway, what else did I have for you guys here? I mean, if you don't agree with me, you can tell me in the comments, but you can give me some feedback. But this is a very slippery slope, and we still haven't learned from the time that Hitler came into power. You think all the Germans were evil? No, they were blindsided by propaganda. It creeps up on you. Ever since the 1930s that the Nazi Germany government came to power, they propaganda to people. They say the German Reich has to be strong, and we need Poland. We need to invade Poland for our national security, and that's how it starts to go. We need to invade Poland, And Hitler was a very charismatic person. He was a populist. It's a very, very slippery slope. I'm seeing Meg is also in the chat, and she's just saw the door opening. She's here. Anyway, it's crazy, and people think that they are immune to somebody like to this fascism thing. But if you see Nick Fuentes exposing this, it's kind of scary in my opinion. So what else do I have for you guys here? So yeah, so that's basically it. Alex Jones had David Icke on his show, and David Icke, is very critical of Alex Jones, kind of friendship with Musk. So he's very emboldened to Musk. Why? Because Musk gives him his platform on X. He has millions of viewers on X. For Alex Jones, it's probably a matter of survival now. If he doesn't have X, and if he goes against Elon Musk, and then it's over for him. It's game over probably, right? Maybe that was Alex Jones' breaking point. That's the point where he said like, F it. I'm going to choose my survival here. So, I don't know. Okay, so another thing I want to show you guys is, so on to another thing, and the Dutch podcaster Eva Vlaardingerbroek, and I'm going to show you guys her here. So this lady, so this blonde lady from Holland, she's a Dutch podcaster. She speaks out. She's also the alternative media, and she recently has been banned from entering the United Kingdom 3 days after she criticized Keir Starmer. Now, this is obviously wrong. See, again, this is fascism, totalitarianism. So you say something bad about the regime, and you're not allowed to go in anymore. So she, citizen of Holland, she got revoked her her tourist visa to go, because United Kingdom is not part of Europe anymore since Brexit. So her visa got revoked, and they said to her, you are not welcome anymore because your presence in UK is not considered to be optimal for the UK. Boom, that's it. And there's no way to repeal it, they said. So maybe I'm going to show it to you guys. So let me show you Eva Vlaardingerbroek. But I also need to say something about that girl, because and she's been on Tucker. She's been invited on Tucker on the Tucker podcast. So let me show you guys. So this is her on X. She has a lot of followers on X. So 1.2 million followers. So she says, I've been banned from traveling to the UK. No reason given, no right to appeal, zero due process. Just an email saying the UK government deems me not conducive to the public good. Exactly 3 days after I criticized Keir Starmer. So, and she's been on Tucker. Now, Tucker interviewed her for it because it's big news. But I have a few remarks about this girl. Well, first of all, is that, well, let me make it a little bit bigger here. First of all, is that she is a bit like Alex Jones in the sense she kisses Elon Musk, but first she criticized Elon Musk, and now that she knows she can get big on Twitter, she suddenly started kissing his ass, right? Okay, she's banned, and she shouldn't have been banned, because this is totalitarian, this is fascist from the UK government, right? This is how they show their true nature. But when David Icke was banned from going into Holland, her home country, and consequently was banned from the European Union, I never heard her. She never spoke about that, right? She never did one. And David Icke is one of the original conspiracy theorists, one of the people like Alex Jones that still, he said he's in his 70s, that for 30 years, for decades, spoke out. I didn't hear her say a word about David Icke when he got banned. But now, when she's banned from the UK, of course she posted everywhere because it's good for her publicity, and it's she's going viral with it, and she knows she's going viral and she's going to get a lot of views and attention, and she's going to get invited on Tucker Carlson. But I never heard David Icke being invited on Tucker Carlson. No, because David Icke is critical of Elon Musk. David Icke is critical of the Trump administration. See how there's this club. There's like a little club. There's like a club in the alternative media being formed. And if you're not part of it, you're gonna get, if you're not peddling the narrative on X, kissing Elon Musk's butt, you're gonna get you're gonna get ghosted. How do you call it? Shadow banned. You're gonna not get the reach you normally get. You're not gonna get invited on Tucker Carlson. You're not gonna get invited on Joe Rogan if you're not part of that new mainstream alternative media club. David Icke, he's the one. He's banned from more countries than Eva Vlaardingerbroek. He's banned from Australia. He's banned from the EU. He's banned from certain countries in the Middle East. He should be on Joe Rogan. He should be on Tucker Carlson. But guess what? They never invited him. Because it's a new alternative mainstream media club. The likes of Joe Rogan, the likes of Tucker Carlson. And Charlene Bosnies asks, who is David Icke? Well, if you don't know him, look him up. He's, in my opinion, he's still the one and only, not like Alex Jones. He's still the one that held his integrity throughout all this. He's a conspiracy theorist that spoke out, since the 90s. It was one of the first ones to really popularize the reptilian theory. Regina Rowe, it says it's hard to tell which of the podcasters are controlled opposition. Yes, I think some function as controlled opposition without themselves even knowing it. It's just because they say the right things, they get promoted by the algorithms. Just like this guy, what was the name? What was the name of this guy? He was promoted so much by the algorithms because he was kissing Musk's and Trump's butt. Who was that guy? Oh, I forgot it. Anyway, he was promoted so much, and then suddenly he started changing, and then boom, I didn't see him. I don't see him anywhere anymore because the algorithms. He started criticizing Israel, yeah, and after he started criticizing Israel, bam, he disappeared from my feed, and he got, I don't think he's like really controlled opposition because, and in the end he turned against it, but the algorithms really promoted him because he said the right things, Twitter, like I said in the past, Twitter, my social media has grown a lot in the past year since I started doing it in English, because I was speaking out in Dutch first, for Belgium, but X, nothing, because I'm speaking out against Musk and stuff. Because the algorithms de-promote you. I mean, I could show the stats to prove it, but anyway. And let me look at some Instagram comments here. Brummy X says, UK, here my country has gone to shit. Yeah, I mean, it's the same as Europe. The UK is in the same state as Europe. It's bad. It's very bad. It's very bad. Lewis Man on Instagram says, thanks, Jens, thank you. Yeah, it's really bad. So, this is like, she's also part of that new mainstream alternative media club. She gets invited on Tucker. Oh, Eva Vlaardingerbroek can't go inside the United Kingdom. What about David Icke? I never heard you guys report on David Icke. Never heard talk about David Icke. It's absolutely insane. Anyway, also some news from the UK that I want to share with you guys. And I'm going to bring it out actually from my Facebook. So just give me a second here. So I'm going to show it to you guys. It's the easiest. Oops, where is it? Just a second, guys. Here. Oh, I don't have it on there. Wait, let me. Oh, no, it was a movie. Yeah, it was a movie. Anyway, never mind. I'm going to remove this. So there was, celebrations on, again, the alternative media about the fact that the mandatory digital ID has been scrapped. And these big accounts, alternative media accounts, were like, "Oh, the mandatory digital ID has been scrapped." I'm gonna expose one here and what they said was, they made it seem like the whole digital ID, the mandatory digital ID, was being scrapped inside the UK, but it's wrong. It's only the mandatory part that's being scrapped. And that's what they don't say. So again, they do it for the views. Oh, the digital ID is scrapped. And they get the views and they get the monetization off of it. But what they fail to say is that it's only the mandatory part. The word mandatory is being scrapped. So Keir Starmer said that it will be mandatory to have digital to work in the UK. You need to have a digital ID. So that part is scrapped. It's not mandatory anymore. But it's still being rolled out. It's still happening. And these alternative media accounts with millions of followers just peddle that narrative. Let me show it to you guys here. I gotta find it. I should have brought it up. Just let me have a second here. Yeah, wait. I'm gonna look it up because I want to show it to you guys how they actually peddle false information. False information to their public, Just give me a second here. Oh, yeah, it's live, guys. So just hold on here. Sometimes it goes a bit slower because I have to find the post. Here, I got it. So here, I'm going to show it to you guys. So this is an account with a lot of million followers, and I'm going to expose this guy for the false information he parrots, because this is the guy that used a clip of mine and a picture of mine without ever crediting me. One day I just saw my face on this account and I was like, what is happening here? People like, Jens, he just, they just use other people's stuff to create their news, right? So this guy here, Mitch Summers, and all his texts are written by ChatGPT. You can just see it. I see it. It's just all written by ChatGPT. So just basically let's ChatGPT do the stuff, and it's not even true here. Here he says, "Victory for freedom and common sense. Keir Starmer has just announced he's abandoned all plans to implement a digital ID, a complete reversal after mounting pressure." This is false. This is not true. The digital ID, he doesn't. Here, he says it in caps, all plans. He's not abandoned all plans. And Keir Starmer has never said that. Only the mandatory part is scrapped, but the digital ID is still happening. So this is, again, a big alternative media account, writing its text with AI, posting fake bullshit. And then, of course, he gets because people don't look further, he gets 11,000 likes, and he probably monetized, he made a few bucks on that post. But it's fucking false. This is the state of the new alternative media. This is what I'm saying. And I'm sorry if I'm getting a little bit, more intense here, but what the fuck? This is false. And this is people, do your research, use your brain, don't follow these, don't, accept anybody's word for it. This is false. And then people are like, oh, the digital ID has been completely stopped, and they just click and like, and oh, it's fun, And they do it because I could go on and on about this, but it's crazy. So yeah, I think I'm all. If you guys remember, if you guys have any questions, this is the last show. I can also answer your questions. So it's the same. It's like Rumble. It's the same thing. Like I said in the past, Rumble is also controlled. Rumble is owned by Peter Thiel. And Peter Thiel is, of course, he's head of the Bilderberg Group. So Rumble, in my opinion, was set up as a alternative platform to YouTube to catch those alternative people and to parrot certain narratives. Like if you promote Elon Musk or Trump on Rumble, if you promote the white hat narrative on Rumble, you're gonna get promoted by the algorithms on Rumble. So it's basically the new mainstream. Like I said, Rumble is a sign of that, the new mainstream alternative media. And Noel Bennett says, Candace Owens' husband is from the British Isles. He's part of the Bullingdon Club. UK's version of Skull and Bones. Well, his dad is a lifelong lord. Yeah, that's true. I know that. I'm aware of that. Candace Owens' husband is part of an elite family. Candace Owens, I don't know about her. We'll see. We'll see. I like something she said, but I also like something that Alex Jones says. We'll see. We'll see. It's absolutely insane. The misinformation in the alternative media, it has become a new mainstream media, and basically people like me have become what the alternative media used to be, and there's a lot of sellouts, a lot of people who buckled under the pressure, who gave up their integrity. Okay, so to close, I want to show you a clip of Mark Carney. So Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, says that the New World Order is going to come. So this guy has been, of course, Mark Carney, he was the governor of the Bank of England. So, if you're a governor of the Bank of England, then obviously you're part of the club, right? And this New World Order phrase is, what they used to call their plan publicly before, Klaus Schwab came on the scene with the Great Reset, and it was more called the Great Reset. But here's Carney talking about the New World Order.
Mine is the first visit of a Canadian Prime Minister to China in nearly a decade. The world has changed much since that last visit. And I believe the progress that we have made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order.
And look how he accentuates it, the new world order. I mean, these people are in the know, they're in the club, they know the plan, and this guy is, of course, he's an older gentleman. Well, maybe I wouldn't call him a gentleman, but anyway, he's an older man, and he knows about the New World Order plan, and he's saying it again, because when I got into conspiracy, In 2004, like I said in the beginning, it was all about the New World Order. Now they call it the Great Reset. Now they call it Agenda 2030, sustainable development. But it's the New World Order plan, and they're in on it. They are the puppets that are in on it. So anyway, this was my show about the alternative media. So be very careful, guys. There's a lot of misinformation out there. So anyway, if there's no questions anymore, I'm gonna do at the end. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So we, as the smaller channels here, I would consider, without any form of ego, consider us, people like me, the real alternative media. So please support us. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Please help us fight the algorithms. Because the algorithms promote to people who parrot, the false information and the new train of thinking, the new mainstream media totalitarianism, I would say. So thank you, everybody. So I love to see your comments. So thank you, Regina, for those nice comments. Thank you, Fire Within, for your support, for being on the live shows. So yeah, I will see you probably next week if our travel plans don't change, for another live. Remember, so I got a live on Sunday. I got a card reading video on Tuesdays, and then I speak about conspiracy or metaphysical subjects on Thursday. So I got 3 videos a week, 2 offline, 2 normal videos, and 1 live video a week. So thank you, everybody. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next week live in another video. Thank you. Bye-bye.